Hi, Gary Corp from CigarAdvisor.com, and once again, it's time for fan mail. This one I call How to Figure Out What Figurado You're Smoking. This is a letter we got from Mark Messenger in Fairfax, Virginia. He says, Hi, Gary. I like smoking cigars with pointy heads like Torpedos, Pyramids, and Belicosos, but because they look so much alike, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between them. Can you please explain how to know if you're smoking the correct shape? Well, sure. Okay. Let's start with the Pyramid. Like its name, the Pyramid has a triangular appearance. Now, traditionally, a Pyramid has a tapered head and measures from 6 to 7 inches in length with a ring gauge generally around 40 at the head, and it widens out to a 52 to 54 ring at the foot. A classic example is the Montecristo No. 2 I'm holding, which is also called a Torpedo, and I'll get into why later. Pyramids can also be made with rounded heads, like the Davidoff Special T I'm holding here. This has a more dramatic triangular shape at 6.5 by 36 by 52. Now, suffice it to say that whatever name the shape is given by the factory, if it fans out from the head to the foot, even subtly, like the No. 2 Montecristo, it's a pyramid. Here we have the Belicoso. Now, these traditional Belicosos are short pyramids, often with a slightly rounded pyramid head, like this Arturo Fuente Don Carlos Belicoso. Now, they often measure from 5 to 5.5 inches with ring gauges of about 50. However, many Belicosos are made in longer lengths with tapered heads, like the Perdomo Cuban Parejo Belicoso I'm holding here. And this measures at 6.5 by 54 with a very sharp head. Perdomo is known for making these very, very sharp, pointy heads on their figurados. Additionally, Belicosos, or bellies, that measure 5 inches or less with smaller ring gauges may even be labeled as petite or mini Belicosos. Then again, they may not. So the main distinguishing characteristic is the rounded tapered head that I showed you on the Don Carlos Belicoso. Now for the Torpedo, which is probably the most confusing among the various figurados. A good example of a Torpedo is this 6.5 by 52 Oliva Connecticut Reserve Torpedo. The reason for all the confusion is most manufacturers do not make them to the traditional size. Now, a true Torpedo has a tapered head with a bulge in the midsection and a closed foot like a Perfecto. The shape is a rare find since the majority of Torpedos are made without the bulge and have an open foot. Torpedos run in length from 6 to 6.5 inches and range in ring gauge from 52 to 56, even 58 in some cases. Now, the closest example that I've found to a true Torpedo is the 6 1/8 by 54 by 42 Camacho Corojo Figurado, which has a slight bulge in the middle. Now, it's kind of hard to see with the band on it, but you can see that it is bulged. So that would be a more traditional Torpedo, except it would have a tapered foot, more like you would see on a Perfecto. While we're on the subject, here are a couple of other sizes you may want to know about. Right here we have the Diadamas. Now, this model is a Davidoff Nicaragua Diadamas. Now, I call the Diadamas the ultimate shape in terms of figurados because they have something that every Perfecto or Figurado has. They have the Perfecto tip, they have the little bulge, they have the tapered head. So that's what makes them so interesting. The Diadamas tend to run big. This one's a little smaller, but they tend to run from 8 inches all the way up to 9.5. And the head may not always come to a sharp point, as you can see from the Davidoff version. But it is tapered. Now, it measures about 40 ring, and it widens out to about a 52 or wider, and then usually has a closed nipple-like or just rounded off like Davidoff did, the tip that you would find on a Perfecto. Finally, check this out. This is the Salomon. It's an offshoot of the Diadamas. This one is rolled to a traditional 7.25 by 57. The best way to distinguish between the two, Diadamas are generally bigger overall in size and may appear somewhat bulbous, whereas Salomons are usually under 8 inches and have a leaner appearance. So there you have it. It doesn't really make all that much difference in the end, just as long as you know the sizes and shapes you prefer in your figurados. Just keep in mind that the shapes are named at the discretion of the manufacturer and may not conform to traditional measurements or appearances. I hope this helped. And until next time, happy smokes.